This is my Artist Way week 2 recap. Ta-da! Still not really sure how I want to start these videos, but we're gonna move on. This week 2 was not that great. Which it was fine. It wasn't that great though. But let's get into it. Let's get in with the check-in questions, which I think I mentioned this in the week 1 recap video, but I'm really glad that they do offer check-in questions because that helps a lot for me to actually focus in. So, morning pages. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? I am a little ashamed to say I only did 4 days, which was so... It was surprising to me because I thought I had been doing better. No, there was one day that I knew I had missed, and that day was so focused on in my mind. And then a few days later, it's getting late. I realized I hadn't done morning pages, and part of me was like, "Oh, you know what? It's okay. I've missed the one. If I miss a second day, that's fine." Yeah, and then I decided to actually check my morning pages notebook because whenever I'm beginning a new morning a morning page, I don't know, section, whenever it's a new day and I'm starting morning pages, I put the date at the top just so I can keep track of the days. Yeah, so I checked the days and I realized that yes, I had missed that one day that I'd remembered, but I also missed the 2 previous days of the day that I was contemplating skipping, which promptly had me turning to the next blank page and getting started on morning pages so that I wouldn't miss a 4th day. Oh goodness, that was fun. And I would say I don't know why, but morning pages as overall, and I've noticed this throughout my many times doing more morning pages, not just in these 2 weeks, but morning pages are hard for me to write. And it's not that there are some days that are really easy and I get through those 3 pages in under 30 minutes, sometimes where I'm racing the clock just for the kicks and giggles. But there are other days where I am struggling so hard that I end up taking far longer than 30 minutes to write all 3 pages. And that's due to a number, and that I am fairly certain is due to a number of different reasons. One, I get distracted super easily. It doesn't help that I have my phone nearby or my computer nearby when I'm writing. So I probably should work on changing that so that I actually can stay better focused. But then also, even without those, I'm very good at distracting myself. So there will be times where I'll be writing something and whatever it is I'm writing will kind of spark an idea, and I'll start thinking about that other thing and going on that particular thought train. And because my thoughts move so much faster than my hand does when it's writing, I'll kind of just be out of it for 5 or 10 minutes staring at my keyboard, lost in this mental realm of whatever it is I'm thinking about. And then finally I kind of wake myself out of it and I realize I still have a page and a half left to write and I don't remember what I was thinking. I literally won't remember what I had started from, and so I end up just I continue on with whatever I'm writing, but it 9 times out of 10 has nothing to do with with whatever that major thought train was. So that was fun. That did happen a few times this week. I would also say that a third thing is that I need to work on this because I try to be smart when I'm doing morning pages, because, which, I mean, it's said at the beginning of the book when it's describing about morning pages that you can write anything. You can write, I am tired, which I do. Like, I will write, I am tired. Why am I doing this? Why do I do this to myself? Why am I starting a new challenge? I have so many other things to work, like, which negative, like, those are kind of like negative affirmation. No. There's a name for it, but I can't think of it right now. I need to work on including more affirmations. We'll get to that in a moment. But out of a desire to get something out of morning pages, to work through some issue that I'm focusing on, or some task that I want to accomplish, I will kind of get stuck in that focus and because I'm trying to be smart, I end up wasting more time because I can't think of anything to say. And then I'll take a break from that and start writing about something fun, like some fun activity that I'm going to be doing, or some other like nonsensical idea, and I'll just go off and write a good page all about like this thing, which is great, but it's also kind of like, why do I try to force myself? Like, why do I try to force myself to, why do I have to force myself to be smart instead of just letting myself write? And if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, I'm still clearing out the clutter that's in my brain. So I do need to work on that because it's not helping me. And it's only hindering me. And I don't like spending so much time on morning pages when I could get through them faster and then be able to continue moving on with my day. So yeah, that's enough about morning pages for now. So, okay, so number 2, did you do your artist date this week? I did. I went back to the movie theater to watch the last Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which was great because that is I still don't know if it's tied with Raiders of the Lost Ark for being my favorite of the original trilogy, or if I like it more than Raiders of the Lost Ark. I haven't decided. Or less. I don't know. But it was so fun. And it was just, I took myself, there were a slightly greater number of people who were in the theater with me when I was watching, but it was still nice being able to take myself to the movie theater and watch this movie that I love on the big screen. And so that was a lot of fun. I really liked that. And now I have to come up with our artist date ideas on my own because I had purchased these movie tickets, like, so for Last Crusade and for Temple of Doom from the week 1 recap, those that had been purchased before I started doing the artist way, and so they were kind of built in, so now I actually have to come up with ideas on my own. Oh goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Anyway, but yeah, it was great. Number 3. Were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery? Yes. So I realized that I kept forgetting part of the tasks. Specifically the one, there were a number of tasks this week that had, that involved morning pages. And so because of that, I didn't do those. Like, I didn't even, I don't know if like I just blanked over them when I like blanked over those portions when I read them, because I would write morning pages and then when I would check the tasks, I'd be like, oh wait, I was supposed to include this and I didn't. It also didn't help that I only did 4 out of the 7 days. So I didn't give myself a full chance to make sure to get them done. But yeah, so there aren't none of the tasks for week 3 have that same occurrence where they're tied to the morning pages. So I'm going to redo or do these tasks again in week 3 as well, just kind of to give myself a more full experience, so that I actually get that. Because especially the affirmations, and I briefly mentioned it earlier, but with the affirmations, I realized on one of the days that I that should have been the day that like sparked the, oh hey, affirmations, let's include this, because I was realizing that my language towards myself in morning pages was getting pretty negative. A lot of well, not just like to myself, but also just to like the challenge and life, where I was writing, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? Do I really want to be doing this? Am I doing that? Like, what is the reason for doing this? Usually followed by, I'm tired, I want to go to bed, because I was writing it late. I was writing it at night. Which there's a good reason why they should be done in the morning, because then it's not, I don't think I would have, like, certainly, again, teaser, like the morning pages that I did today, I didn't feel so negative because I was actually doing them in the morning. And so it felt a lot better to be able to do them instead of trying to get them done at night when all I want to do is relax and go to bed. So yeah. So the fact that I still am not completely doing them in the morning is an issue. That needs to be corrected. And then also to read more clearly the tasks, so that if they're tied to other tasks or to morning pages or the artist date, then I can actually include them so that they get done properly. But yeah, so overall, week 2 was not the best week, but it is only week 2. So there's still 10 more weeks ahead, which is a good thing because it means I'm able to recognize the issues now and work on correcting those so that I can get more out of this experience. So yeah, I think that's about it. So I will be better about posting week 3 closer to when I actually finish week 3. I'm not gonna try not to do a third time of this. All right. So yeah, that's my recap. See you next time.